Cash Cow, Tank coming back.
Yes.
I'm not going to ask you who he's fighting, but because I know you're not going to answer me. Even if you know, I know you're not going to say it here.
But my mouth like this.
But what can we expect from? I'll say, what can we expect November the 2nd from Tank? What is it we're going to see from the Cash Cow Tank? Multi-division world champion, knockout artist. What are we going to see November 2nd from Tank?
Well, with me and Tank, I can't wait to see him.
Yeah.
Let me.
Calvin Ford has confirmed that Gervonta Davis is set to return to the ring in November, and he believes they will deliver an unforgettable performance together. Ford also shut down rumors of serious tension between them, saying there was never any real bad blood in their relationship.
I can't.
Yeah.
And me and Tank haven't seen each other since camp. When I left, everybody thought I was mad. I wasn't mad. I was just, just it's over.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because I was going through court at the same time.
Yes, I was going to say something like, yeah.
I was going through court.
Yes.
And he won, I won.
That's right.
So,
Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah.
I haven't seen him just to give him a hug from that victory.
Right.
Calvin Ford says Gervonta Davis keeps growing and improving during every training camp, which pushes him to become a better coach as well. Ford compared Tank to his own Michael Jordan in boxing and admitted that he learns something new from him every time they get ready for a fight together.
When is it that you see, like, all right, now because the first couple weeks is warm up, and then you like, all right, now we're ready to go. He's in fight shape right now. At what point do you see that in camp?
Well, like I said, every camp is different for me.
Right.
Because I'm growing too.
Yeah.
Last camp you say, oh, you're getting good at this.
Yeah.
Nah, because you getting good at what you do. So my game got to step up with your game.
That's right.
So, we try to look at opponents that we had to put in place, things that we had to do. And like I say, Tank is like my Michael Jordan in the ring. So, I had to listen to what he want, what he want to do. Last camp, man, I learned so much from him.
Yeah.
As a person, as an athlete, as a fighter. You know what I'm saying? And watching him evolving.
Yes.
Because that last camp, man.
While discussing a possible fight between Shakur Stevenson and Gervonta Davis, Calvin Ford praised Shakur's talent and boxing ability, but said Tank is operating on a completely different level right now. Ford also warned that if the two finally face each other in the ring, it will turn into a rough and intense fight, not a clean or pretty one to watch.
You're Tank's trainer, and I'm pretty sure you're like, hey, we will get the job done.
The fight is going to happen one day.
What do you think that he brings to the table? I'm saying give a game plan. What does he bring to the table?
I'm going to give Shakur. See, everybody don't know. We have a history. I know y'all seen videos and everything.
Yes.
We have a history. Man, his grandfather, we real cool.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? We grew up with these youngins. You know what I'm saying? To me, Floyd is Shakur is a good boxer.
Yes, he is.
He's a good boxer.
Yes.
I give him that. But again, Tank is different. He's on another mission, and way things are today between them two, it ain't gonna look pretty.
After confirming Gervonta Davis is coming back, Calvin Ford put him through an intense training camp focused on improving every part of his game before the comeback fight. Ford wants Tank to step back into the ring fully ready, sharper than ever, and even more dangerous for his next opponent.
So that's boxing at its finest right there. You heard it. They said it. Make that bet. Everything on the line. That's old school right there. That's everything on the line.
While breaking down his training, Barry Hunter said Gervonta Davis has elite strength, natural power, and the complete skill set needed to succeed at the highest level of boxing. Hunter believes Tank is fully built to take on the toughest challenges the sport has to offer.
And the real ones that know that this is no easy fight. He's very skilled, and I'm going to go on the line and say this may be the most skillful person that Tank has faced thus far.
I just don't want to look bad come fight night. My biggest fear has been embarrassed, especially in front of like all these people, like worldwide. Then you be like, come this mean for deck, like, like I ain't got time for that. I'm not trying to go out get my butt kicked, like bad. Like I can't do it. I don't want to be embarrassed, bro. It's just my pride. Some people be made for it, some people don't. He's not going to win. You better be ready.
Calvin Ford also believes Gervonta Davis has changed a lot since his last fight, saying the experiences he faced outside the ring have helped shape him into a more focused and mature fighter. Ford feels those personal challenges have strengthened Tank's mindset and helped sharpen the way he trains and competes.
I just know that he's not the same person that we seen the last time we seen him in the ring. Been through a lot of stuff. Watching him making a transition coming from being incarcerated to now and dealing with courts, dealing with that type of stuff, because that's a trauma and a half for you if you ever been through that type of stuff.
Meanwhile, Shakur Stevenson called Gervonta Davis a major name in boxing and said he fully controls his own career choices. He also stated that if Davis truly wants the fight, it could be set up quickly without any major issues or delays.
Biggest star in the world, one of the biggest stars in the world. So with him being at that top spot, he can pick and choose who he wants to fight. If he want to fight this guy, he can fight this guy. So, and my brain is like, just say you want to fight and we can make it happen at any given time.
At the same time, Keyshawn Davis praised Gervonta Davis for his sharp finishing skills and calm control inside the ring. He also said that a potential fight with Shakur Stevenson would be very competitive and tough for both fighters, with neither side having an easy night.
For one, I really think the fans don't really see nobody beating Shakur. For one, like, when people bring up him and Tank, when I see and I go read like little stuff about it, they really be debating. It don't be like, oh, Tank is gonna destroy this guy and everybody is saying this. No, that should be like real debates. Like, no, this Shakur, this, that. And then not only that, now you see Shakur moving up in weight, he's filling out, he's dropping this dude. He went crazy that last fight. That last fight was like kind of crazy.
As excitement builds, David Benavidez sees a potential fight between Gervonta Davis and Shakur Stevenson as exactly the kind of matchup boxing needs right now, saying it would have a massive impact on the sport. He also believes that if the fight is officially made, it would instantly dominate headlines and become the main focus of the boxing world.
This weekend, I would love to see Shakur and Gervonta. I think Gervonta and anybody in any of the top guys at that weight class is a great fight. Gervonta, Shakur, Gervonta, Teo, Gervonta, Keyshawn. I mean, that 135 to 140 pound weight class is hot right now. You know what I mean? But that would be a great fight. I think probably that would be one of the fights that be the most anticipated. If they can make happen, Gervonta Davis and Shakur Stevenson. By no means it would be easy for either fighter. We just seen that Shakur Stevens was able to shut a great fighter like Teofimo down and made him look silly. So that would be a great fight, and a big shout out to Shakur Stevens becoming a 4-time division champion. He's on legendary status. He's on his way to be a Hall of Famer too, and he's still very young.
Analyst Anthony Bren describes Shakur Stevenson as the more polished defensive fighter, while also saying that much of Gervonta Davis's full potential is still not fully seen by the public. He explains that Davis tends to fight with patience and waits for the right moments to land powerful shots, while Stevenson keeps steady pressure and a constant rhythm from beginning to end. In the end, he says the styles don't clearly give an advantage to either fighter, making the matchup unpredictable until they finally meet in the ring.
Shakur Stevenson. Shakur might have better defense, but at the end of the day, I still think we haven't seen the best Tank Davis. That's what people always power. We still haven't seen the best Tank Davis. And Shakur, for the most part, he comes forward. Tank Davis, all he takes is one shot. He's a very patient fighter. He doesn't throw a lot of shots, but every shot he throws, he makes them count.
Andre Roser describes Shakur Stevenson as a very sharp, highly skilled technical fighter, but he still slightly favors Gervonta Davis because of his knockout power. He explains the fight as a clash of skill versus explosiveness, where Stevenson can control the pace, but Davis only needs one clean opening to completely change the outcome. In his view, the matchup is extremely close and could be decided by a single mistake in timing or focus from either fighter.
I'll tell you like this. Shakur is a talented fighter. Tank, that's like my ride and die. I like guys that get people in trouble and knock them out. So I'm always riding with Tank. It will be a spectacular bout. I mean, you have the age-old puncher versus boxer at its best. Now, if Tank allows Shakur to get ahead too far, then he might not be able to catch up to him. On the flip side of that, if Tank gets in there and Shakur makes a mistake, it only takes one for the lights to be out. So I'm waiting to see it. I want to see it, and I'm looking forward to it. It's another 50-50, but I'm Tank all the way. So I got to ride or die with who I ride or die with, even though I love them.
Bruce Carrington downplays the current hype around a potential major fight involving Shakur Stevenson, saying the excitement around it has slowed down for now. He adds that both fighters still have plenty of time to rebuild momentum, but believes Stevenson needs more explosive performances to bring fan interest back to a higher level.
Is it a huge pay-per-view attraction right now?
Right now, no. I feel like because these guys are still young, they have the time to build it up, and because of how the audience have been taking Shakur's last performance, the interest of it is low. You know what I mean? So I feel like for it to be big again, Shakur has to have exciting performances and at least like a back to.
Meanwhile, Gary Russell Jr. predicts the fight would be a fast, high-energy battle filled with non-stop action and exchanges. He explains that one fighter's constant pressure would keep the fight intense from the opening round to the final bell. He also believes the clear contrast in styles would make the matchup very exciting and naturally appealing for fans.
Tank fight, he come to get boogie. He come to where if he don't whoop your ass, he gonna knock you out. Same with me. If I'm gonna whoop your ass, or you going out of here. Clean up time. Let's go. Styles like that being clashed against each other, it's gonna be a juicy fight. It's bound to be a juicy fight. Yeah. People's going to tune into it. That's why they really would tune into it, because of the styles. Now that don't need no build up because of the style.
Breaking it down further, Gary Russell Jr. describes Shakur Stevenson as a clean and efficient boxer who depends on strong defense, smart footwork, and very accurate punching. He says Stevenson fights with discipline, avoids unnecessary risks, and wins rounds by staying in good position and picking his shots carefully.
Shakur, he got a different style. He got a surgical style. He's a boxer. He don't get hit. He's not going to get hit. He's going to move. He's going to be smart and obedient. He's not going to try to throw no wasteful shots. And he's not going to take no risk for real with certain fighters. Why? Because it'd be foolish. His job is to win. And if he can do that by playing it safe, and he's gonna do that. Right. It's not stupid of him. It's smart of him. It's obedient.
Frank Martin describes the matchup as almost evenly balanced, but shaped by two very different fighting styles. He says Shakur Stevenson is a precise, technical boxer who controls fights with structure, while Gervonta Davis relies on explosive power, instinct, and unpredictability. Martin also points out that Stevenson is easier to study and prepare for, but Davis is much harder to fully figure out in a fight plan.
Man.
Or it's too close to call.
It's just one of them things. Tank got skill. Tank got skill. Tank got power. He got that natural instincts, man. He got it. Shakur just a pure boxer.
Yeah.
He could box, a pure boxer. But is this pure boxer. Tank
got a little bit of everything.
Tank got a little bit of everything.
And it's hard to game plan for him. Okay.
It's like you gotta like knowing you finna fight Shakur, you just know you finna box.
Yeah.
You finna box.
So you gotta be sharp.
You gotta be sharp. Tank, he got a little bit of everything in his arsenal.
Tim Bradley analyzes the matchup between Shakur Stevenson and Gervonta Davis, saying Stevenson's defensive control gives him a slight edge in a very close fight. However, he warns that Davis's aggressive approach could force Stevenson into uncomfortable exchanges where the fight can quickly change. Bradley also points out that Stevenson doesn't always counter much under heavy pressure, which could create openings for Davis to land a decisive shot.
And I say he fights at the level of competition, and you can say, oh, there's some contradiction going on now, but I still got Shakur, but there is still it's like, I can see a path to where Tank can beat him. I can see it. I can see a path in a way that I believe that Tank can catch him and hurt him and knock him out. I'm not gonna give that away. However, I can see the path. I can see a path, man. Well, I could talk about it. I mean, it's the fact that he's not, when you put heat on him, he's so damn defensive that
Tim Bradley says Shakur Stevenson often fights off the back foot, and he warns that this approach could give control of the fight to Gervonta Davis. He explains that if Stevenson retreats too much, Davis would be able to control the pace and land cleaner scoring shots. Bradley also adds that if Stevenson stays too passive under pressure, he could lose rounds and possibly the fight.
as long as he's not willing to risk getting caught, Tank's gonna be in the fight. Period. And if he starts moving back on his bicycle and Tank's coming forward, Tank gonna be the aggressor. That's what's gonna happen. So I can see Tank actually winning the fight now when I thought that he couldn't, on the scorecards, and not knocking out Shakur because of this. You know, the inactivity behind his defense could be his downfall.
That's what we got to do, right? We got to keep an open mind, fight to fight.
The writer reflects on how the online hype around Shakur Stevenson and another top fighter eventually faded when neither side continued pushing the rivalry. They say Stevenson stepped away from the tension early, which left the situation unresolved. Over time, the early excitement died down and the potential matchup slowly lost its momentum and became uncertain.
They had a back and forth on X, and at the end of it, Shakur was like, yeah, it's over. I mean, he's not going to fight me. He's not interested, so I'm not interested. Don't ask me about that again. And I'm totally with him on that. So, yeah, him putting that extra, and plus, we don't know what's going on with Tank right now. So, you know, he has a lot of things to deal with. It's easy to say F him right now anyway, right? But I lost interest when Tank lost interest. Shakur lost interest. Listen, I mean, fighting Teofimo Lopez, in my opinion, I always saw Teofimo Lopez as like a Tank Davis kind of. Like the way he fought, I've always compared them to, except for Teofimo Lopez is a big guy. And with Shakur moving up to fight Teofimo Lopez, I'm kind of fine. Like, I get it. You know, if they were to ever fight, of course that'd be amazing.
Showbiz the Adult breaks down Shakur Stevenson's fighting style as a calculated approach where he sometimes takes pressure on purpose to lure opponents in before landing quick, precise counters. He says it's a controlled and smart strategy, but it can become risky if the timing is even slightly off or reactions slow down. He also points out that this approach was already tested early when facing Gervonta Davis, showing how dangerous it can be at the highest level.
You get what I'm trying to say? He would take a few, bam, bam, and let you get off so he could get closer. So you could try to throw 3 or 4 or 5, and then he counter those. Now he's boxing. But he'll roughhouse to box because he can always rely on him being rough. He can rely on it. He had the doghouse rules with Tank at 15. He found out how tough he is. So at the end of the day, when everything strips apart, he can rely on that foundation. But that can hurt him. It can also kind of help him because Devin ain't known as a great puncher. And he's coming up. So he can feel safe doing what he always does against natural welterweights. This is rough.
On the other hand, a different potential fight is also being discussed for Gervonta Davis's return. Oscar de la Hoya has confirmed growing interest in a possible matchup with Kid Austin, saying talks are likely to pick up soon. He added that if this fight becomes the main target, he is ready to push strongly as a promoter to get it made while ensuring his fighter is fully prepared.
There will be real talks happening very soon. If Kid Austin wants to go after Tank next, then me as a promoter is what I have to do and get him.
Kid Austin has also shown excitement about stepping up in competition and says he wants to focus on top-level challenges, naming Gervonta Davis as the true benchmark fight instead of taking easier opponents. He believes that only by facing elite fighters can he earn real respect and prove himself at the highest level of the sport.
But at the end of the day, it's boxing. I'm just here to give the best fights. I'm young. Tank is the gatekeeper as far as like holding that belt, that championship. And he's a person I got to go through, I'm not, no disrespect, but I'm not looking to get it through a Lucas Body or somebody that they expect me to beat. Cause, once you do that, you don't get no credit for that. So, I'm looking to make the best fights happen. And, Tank is one of the best. So I'm ready to get this fight on. It's just crazy how people try to downplay the fact that a young fighter is actually daring to be great. So you know, I'm doing something Shakur and Devin's not doing as far as fighting, you know, the boogeyman of boxing. So, you know, once that day comes, hopefully I get.
Kenny Ellis questions whether Floyd Schofield can handle the real punching power of Gervonta Davis inside the ring. He says no amount of studying footage or training in the gym can fully prepare a fighter for that level of force in a real fight. He also adds that Schofield's true reaction will only be seen once he is under serious pressure in competition.
With my guy, you know,
For sure. But the way you see it, you know what I'm saying?
I don't think if Schofield got experience, he working in the gym. I know he put on a lot of muscle.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think he felt, you know, spawn and hit with head, that shit is different. I don't think he felt what he's gonna feel with Tank. Not speaking. Just I agree. You know what I'm saying? Agree. Some things he has yet to experience. He might can push through it, but some things you feel in that ring. A lot of these fighters, they watch video clips and they watch his training, but you can't feel it when you're looking at the videos. You can't feel what you watch. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So that's the part, you know, he got to be able to push through. You know, a lot of pain comes with boxing. People don't know that. Pain comes with this, you know, and I have yet to see anybody put Schofield through pain.
Showbiz the Adult says the buzz around a potential fight between Shakur Stevenson and Gervonta Davis is mostly fueled by hype, especially through press conferences and media buildup. He points out that the attention around Stevenson's camp helps keep the story active and relevant. However, he adds that real confidence in the matchup will only come when both fighters actually step into the ring and prove themselves in action.
You guys are interested in that? I would be very interested in Floyd Schofield versus Gervonta Tank Davis. I just think that'd be one. The press conferences alone, right? Can you people calling, you know, Big Floyd, Papa Floyd, you know, y'all call him Auntie Schofield like that. People don't like him. So, dude, that would be hilarious. Just a lead up. And then you have Floyd Schofield, who definitely can swat. But the second thing I want to say about that possible matchup is, listen, I know the Schofields. I think they have a problem with me. You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to pick. You know, I love you, boy. I like them when they fight, and that's my problem. If this fight is even made, a lot of us aren't going to feel confident about the fight happening until they step.
That brings the video to an end. Let us know your thoughts on these possible matchups in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss the latest fight news and analysis.